All the talk of the town right now is Redfall, and guess who didn't get flown out to play it early? This guy. Because I'm not special. I'm not fancy enough. It's actually absolutely true, and I don't blame them. But because Redfall is everywhere and Starfield is constantly in the news circles, today I wanted to highlight some upcoming Xbox games not enough people are talking about. Let's get into it. Lies of P, a Souls-like game that's a retelling of Pinocchio. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, this is not an Xbox exclusive, but it is launching day one on Xbox Game Pass. So for me, as a multi-platform gamer, any game that launches day one on Game Pass, I'm just like, oh, well, there's an Xbox game. In my head, that's the only place it exists after I find that out, because of course, I'm subbed to Game Pass. I'm gonna play it on the service. But my God, this game looks absolutely amazing. I'm not even a Souls guy, but I'm loving the way the combat looks. The visuals are out of this world crazy. And I mean, come on, a mature retelling of Pinocchio where you're gonna die probably dozens of times? Count me in. The next game I wanted to shout out is Planet of Lana. You play as a girl named Lana after her planet was invaded by a robot army. I mean, who doesn't like robot armies? No, but this is a side-scrolling action game, and the visuals for this game, the complete opposite of Lies of P. Instead of being a realistic, dark, and brooding style, this is a more cel-shaded, cartoony approach, but honestly, I'm still completely captivated by it. This looks breathtaking. It looks like a game that might make me cry, which isn't too hard, to be honest. Now, I know I just talked about how those games are breathtaking, but this next game just might be the most breathtaking of them all. Replaced is a retro sci-fi 2D action-adventure game. It's releasing exclusively on Xbox and PC, and of course, day one on Game Pass. The game was announced quite a long time ago, and we still don't know much about it, but just from the trailers, this is easily one of the prettiest games I've ever seen. Sort of following the Octopath HD 2D art style, the game has so much attention to detail, and the lighting is out of this world. While we've only seen brief glimpses of the combat, it looks like a lot of fun and sort of John Wicky, if you ask me. This next game, I'll admit, I totally forgot about until I was researching for this video, and it looks absolutely amazing. EREBAN Shadow Legacy launches into Game Pass later this year. It's a stealth platforming game, but here's the kicker. You can literally become a shadow. Any area in the environment that's casting a shadow, you can go into it and sneak around enemies, or sneak up on them and kill them, obviously. Either way, I'm loving the way the game looks, and the visuals don't look half bad either. Now, of course, I can't go without mentioning Ghostwire Tokyo. It's finally coming to Xbox after a year of exclusivity on PlayStation. Tango Gameworks just had a game come out on Xbox with Hi-Fi Rush, and that was critically praised, and Ghostwire Tokyo, I hear it's really good. The people that I know that have actually played through the whole game say that they loved it. It didn't review exceptionally well, but it's definitely a game that I'm gonna check out when it's on Game Pass. The Last Case of Benedict Fox. This is a game that looks absolutely stunning. It's a Metroidvania. It's giving me some Ori vibes, even though it's a totally different aesthetic. There's just something so eerie yet beautiful about it. I'm not sure what the story's about yet, but obviously you play as a detective of some sort. I'm not sure how story-driven the game will be, but the level design looks insane. The platforming looks like a lot of fun, and the enemies just look pretty damn terrifying, to be honest. It's definitely a game I'm very much looking forward to. Another Xbox PC-only game, Ravenlok, gives off total Alice in Wonderland vibes. This is an action-adventure game with a very charming art direction, where you seemingly get sucked into a Alice in Wonderland style world. Looks like you'll be meeting a lot of crazy characters along the way, and of course you'll be able to upgrade your character with a lot of unique abilities and kill a lot of different things. Now, another multi-platform game that's launching day one on Game Pass is Amnesia: The Bunker. Now, I'm not an Amnesia guy, full disclosure, I've never played any of them. However, what stood out to me with this game is that apparently this is the first time the game is introducing some type of combat. It's usually more of a scary walking simulator style game where you're hiding from enemies and all that, at least based on what I researched. But this game, as you'll see in this trailer, you actually end up getting a gun, and then there's this bad guy that comes running at you. So it seems like they might be finally implementing some type of combat, which has me way more interested in playing this series. So I'll definitely be checking out Amnesia: The Bunker day one on Game Pass. Then we have this little indie darling called Cocoon that's supposedly coming out sometime this year, and it's actually from the lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside. So if you're a fan of those games, this is definitely one you want to keep your eye on. It has a very simple and almost calm aesthetic. I'm not even much of a puzzle guy when it comes to games, but hell, it's from the Inside and Limbo gameplay designer, so it's definitely one I'll be checking out on the service. Now this next game, not an Xbox exclusive, but like probably all the games on this list, it is launching day one on Xbox Game Pass for console and PC. Flintlock Siege of Dawn looks really fun. This is a third-person action-adventure open-world RPG, and it immediately caught my eye. The combat in Flintlock gives me major Fable vibes. The way you utilize melee guns and magic looks really fun. Combine those three things with verticality that I've seen in the combat in the trailer, and it looks like a really fantastic game. Now this next one isn't going to appeal to a ton of people, but EIYUDEN Chronicle 100 Heroes looks fantastic. This is actually the sequel to the game that released last year, EIYUDEN Chronicle Rising, and that was an action game. However, this new one is more of a traditional turn-based JRPG. I really loved the addictive nature and world of the first game, so I'm super excited to see the characters that I met in that game in this new one and play a totally different genre completely. Oh, and also, the presentation looks freaking amazing, of course. Now, usually I wouldn't care about a game like Ark because it's just not my style of game, but apparently Ark 2 is going to actually have a campaign, as in a story aspect, and that's a lot different, so I just wanted to shout this one out. I don't really know a whole lot about this franchise. I know that Vin Diesel is starring in the second game. He's sort of like the face of the series now, which is kind of, I don't know, there's something about Vin Diesel that's just kind of cringe, I'm gonna be honest. But hell, if the game has a story mode, like a campaign that I can just play through and then set the game down, I'm excited for it, and I'm definitely going to check it out. Now, we still have no set release date for Stalker 2, but this is a Xbox PC exclusive. It's launching day one on Game Pass. Obviously, this studio was greatly affected by the war in Ukraine, so absolutely no rush. Totally understandable that this game was delayed, and even if it's delayed till next year, it doesn't even really matter. But there's still a chance that it does make it out in 2023. We still have no set release date or window for Stalker 2, and this game just looks so good, like specifically in the environments, so beautiful. And I've never played the first game. I just recently, the past few years, got really into the Metro series, so this is one I definitely have my eye on because I hear there's some type of lineage between the two franchises, so my hype level is very high for Stalker 2. I think it's going to pay off greatly. I think it's going to be a huge hit for Xbox and Game Pass. My coworker Mary will be totally mad at me if I don't mention Hollow Knight Silksong, but being a crazy person that didn't play the first one, I can't exactly say I'm super excited for the sequel, but I definitely had to mention it or else she just might kill me, you know? But that's all for now, guys. Those are some of the games that are supposedly coming out this year in 2023. They could always be delayed. I really hope more games don't get delayed because a game like Starfield was originally supposed to come out before June, and it's obviously delayed until September. But thankfully, Game Pass is hopefully keeping you guys fed. It's been a crazy year for Game Pass. I've played so many games on that service, and I absolutely love it, and I'm just really happy that I think all of these games that I just talked about are launching day one on Game Pass, so I'm very excited to play them. But let me know if you just discovered a brand new upcoming Xbox game that you're excited for. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit that thumbs down. I will talk to you guys later. See ya.